also use his sense of smell to try and hunt down the main body before they can all merge into the final form. This would completely surprise the demon, and with one swift swing of the blade, Tanjiro would behead Huntengu's main body, finishing the fight before Mitsuri even arrives. As the sun comes up, Tanjiro would encourage Nezuko to come out, telling her that everything will be fine. Listening to her brother, Nezuko would step out into the sunlight, and everyone would be surprised to see that she is completely unharmed. And even though everything went great for Tanjiro so far in this timeline, he would know that the most important battle is still ahead of him, and would soon start preparing for the final battle in the Infinity Castle. However, before that, Hashira training begins, with Rengoku and Tenjin training alongside everyone and awakening their Demon Slayer marks. Rengoku's appear as long, billowing flames that work their way from his hands up to his elbows. Meanwhile, Tenjin's mark appears as musical notes on his cheek. Besides this, everything else during this arc goes pretty much the same, and the night of the final confrontation soon arrives. Same as before, Muzan kills Kagaya and gets caught in the trap set up for him. The first demon still makes it out alive though, and the Infinity Castle opens up, swallowing the entire Demon Slayer core. As the Slayers fall through the Infinity Castle, Tanjiro knows that things are different this time. They've defeated Akaza, meaning he and Giyu are freed up to assist the other Hashira. Meanwhile, Rengoku and Tenjin are with them this time, which should make things much easier as well. Unfortunately, Shinobu would still end up alone and would have to engage Doma by herself. This goes the same as in the original timeline, with her losing her life and poisoning the demon. The only difference here is that Tanjiro would arrive soon after to help Inosuke and Kanao finish Doma off. With their combined forces, they would easily overpower the weakened Doma with minimal injuries. While the other Hashira are busy fighting their own battles, Zenitsu would pursue his own revenge against Kagaku as he did before, closing out the story on their rivalry and showing that he has truly mastered his thunder breathing technique. Same as before, he would reveal his own seventh form of thunder breathing and would put his rival to rest. As this is happening, Tanjiro would rush through the Infinity Castle, hoping to get to the other battles in time in order not to let the other Hashira die. Listening to the crows, Tanjiro would soon learn Kokoshibo's location and would decide to head straight towards him. Every surviving Hashira alongside Inosuke, Kanao, and Genya would then take on Kokoshibo together. And although Kokoshibo is one hell of a fighter, he would be up against 6 Hashira here. And yeah, I don't think even he would stand a chance in this fight. As Tanjiro prepares to cut his head off with his sun-breathing techniques, Kokoshibo would remember his brother, Yoriichi. Realizing that he was wrong all along, Kokoshibo would accept his fate. In a split second, Tanjiro would finish his attack and the strongest upper moon ever would fall defeated. Tanjiro would take a brief moment to lay Michikatsu's soul to rest, vowing that he will end Muzan so that nobody has to become a demon ever again. With that done, all Demon Slayers can finally turn their attention to the final threat, Muzan Kibutsuji. However, this is where Tanjiro would realize that he has made one big mistake. You see, although defeating the upper moons earlier might have seemed like a good idea, it would also mean that Tanjiro and the others have to stall Muzan even longer before the sun rises. Despite all the additional Hashira who are alive this time around, surviving against Muzan for an extra hour is going to be a complete nightmare. Tanjiro would immediately realize his mistake of defeating the other moons early and would try to strategize what they could do. However, he would be reassured by Rengoku that everything will be fine. The battle finally begins, and the Hashira jump towards Muzan, trying to keep him busy until dawn. Obara and Sanemi begin the charge, each one attacking Muzan from different directions to draw his attention, weaving in and out as they try to help each other. When they get tired, the others jump in, so Muzan would constantly have a fresh Hashira to worry about. Realizing that this battle is going to be much tougher than they thought, each Slayer would immediately activate their mark in order to go all out. Watching his friends fight with everything they've got, especially the ones who weren't there in the original timeline, Tanjiro would vow to defeat Muzan without anyone dying, and would rush towards him with his sun breathing. Getting cut by Tanjiro's breathing techniques would immediately remind Muzan of Yoriichi, and he would feel the fear he hasn't felt in a long time. However, despite the Hashira's strength, Muzan would still manage to injure a bunch of them. Sanemi would suffer a slash to his gut, almost filling his insides everywhere. Obara would lose a leg during an attack, but would still manage to fight on using his snake-like movements. During one of his attacks, Rengoku would also lose an arm, while Tenjin narrowly dodges a slash and loses an ear in the process. Despite all of this, though, the Corps would suffer no deaths, as everyone gives it their all to attack Muzan while protecting one another. They would keep this up for hours, never giving Muzan any time to breathe. Soon, the sun would begin to rise, which would prompt Tanjiro to jump in for one final attack. Tanjiro has prepared for this moment his entire second life, and as he gets ready to attack, the other Hashira would jump in as well in order to clear his path. By the time he makes it to the original demon, Tanjiro's blade would be glowing a bright red. And using his Hinokami Kagura, he would slice right through Muzan's neck. Of course, this wouldn't kill Muzan, and he would still attempt to regenerate. But with the sun already up, all of his efforts would be in vain. The rest of the battle plays out pretty much the same, with Muzan doing anything he can to survive, but the Slayer stopping him at every turn. This time, Tanjiro would also be careful not to fall for Muzan's trap, and wouldn't be transformed into a demon.
With